Hi, it's Neil Sean here on Your Entertainment News, and with the one and only, one of my all-time favourite singers, the brilliant Miss Kiki Dee. Remember though, Kiki?
Neil, if you miss it, you miss out.
So don't miss Kiki today on Your Entertainment News.
When I walked with my baby, it soars every time. They all knew I loved my baby and that he was mine. But now he's not around. Someone else I know he's found. 'Cause it's a small town, there's nowhere to hide in a small town.
Kiki, lovely to see you again.
Thank you, you too.
Now, you look ageless, by the way. I've got to ask you, what do you do? No, but you do. What do you do to look so young and vibrant? What's your trick?
I mean, I think I'm a very good sleeper.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, and I eat well, look after myself. Apart from that, I mean, just luck, I suppose. I mean, I'm like all women, I have good and bad days.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I've got a TV, it's so much more, I'll start again. It's so much easier to do radio because you can just turn up and, you know, it doesn't matter what you look like.
But it's harder actually. No, you're right. It's harder for a woman though because everybody scrutinises everything, don't they?
Yeah, well, we're very self-conscious, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, lovely to, as I say, crack and meet again. I want to just ask a few questions. I was watching a brilliant film the other day, and I just forgot. I know it sounds awful that you were in it. And what a surprise to see you. Now, talk me through that bit. How did that film come around?
You're talking about Dateline Diamonds.
Loved it, yeah.
Because it's the only film I've ever been in, actually, apart from the new Elton John film, but that wasn't me. Yeah, no, I mean, God, it's the 60s. Yeah. And it was, I think it starred Ken Cope.
Yeah, who became Randall and Hawker.
He did, yeah, with the white suit.
Yeah.
Good actor.
Yeah.
And the story was a bit thin. It was about some singer manager, smuggling diamonds, I believe, through a pirate radio ship.
It was a bit weird. It was the 60s, so
it was the 60s.
It,
yeah, and I had this nightclub scene, and I had a full backing, you know, a full orchestra backing, but just me in a room, you know.
Yeah.
And the guy who owned the club's got a cigar, and he's looking at me going, you know. It was just quite interesting, but quite camp in a way.
Yeah, but you probably have got no idea that it's going to become a cult either.
No, you don't know at the time, do you?
Yeah, I mean now when you look, because you've got great hair in it. We've got to talk about the hair. It looks fabulous. But when you were making it, did you think, well, did you enjoy the film experience? Or did you think, I really just want to do music? I'm not keen on the mixing of it. Yeah.
Well, funnily enough, I mean, you know, I'm trying to remember because it is so long ago. I think I was quite excited about the idea of it, and I was very young. I had the kind of confidence of youth as well, you know. You kind of feel you can do anything. You've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So I think I just went into it and had a good time.
Now, we have to say you're a northern lass, a Bradford lass, and you started out. I mean, how old were you when you started out?
I was 16 when I got my first record deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was with?
That was with Fontana Phillips Records.
Wow. And your mum and dad must have been thrilled.
They were, yeah. I mean, they were wonderful parents. I had a great childhood. I was singing 3 nights a week at the Astoria Ballroom in Leeds. And someone heard me sing and they said, will you come to London and do an audition?
It's like a film.
I know. It should have been a film, actually. And yeah, and I got the audition and I got a record deal and signed to a manager. Wow. And 2 weeks after he signed me for management, he signed Dusty Springfield. Who I love her voice, and I was a huge fan, and I was completely starstruck. And I used to sing on some of her early records.
And were you still starstruck when you did the recordings with her, or how did you mask it though? Because it is awful, isn't it?
I mean, she was a little bit older than me, and I was 16, 17, so you know, she had a kind of diva quality. Yeah. You know, she's a fantastic woman. Yeah. And great singer. So I guess subconsciously I learnt quite a lot from working with her, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you think that, because that's like a I mean, that's a masterclass you can't pay for, isn't it? Just being in the same room
I think
with these
so.
people, and you go, "Wow, is this how you do it?" And this
I
is
think
how
if you
do
work with the best
it.
in any field, it rubs off on you somehow, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. And then, of course, you went and you were the first lady to be signed to Motown. I mean, you must have kind of just. Was it like a dream thing when these things happen to you? Because it is
was.
kind of like this thing where you dream it, but you don't think it will happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you think, well, it has happened. And what was that like going into the Motown complex of recording?
Okay, let me go into the archives of my life. Well, I mean, again, it was another phone call saying somebody in Detroit had heard my voice. It was just, you couldn't make it up.
Yeah.
And would I go over there for 12 weeks and do some recording? And I was just so excited. I thought, this is it. I'm going to make it now, you know. 69 it was. I went over there, and I think I did a pretty good job. In hindsight, I'm very proud of what I did.
Yeah.
I didn't get the hit songs, you know, because, you know, a lot of the artists, even when they were based in Detroit, didn't get the hit songs. You know, Martha Reeves and Diana Ross were fighting for the hit songs. But when I listened to the recordings I did, they put out an album called Great Expectations, and I listened to them and I think, yeah, I did a pro job.
Yeah.
You know, and I was disappointed when I got home and it hadn't turned into this big, you know, life-changing career.
Yeah.
But you know, things happen for a reason, I think.
Yeah, and also, as you say, you're experiencing and you're growing. I mean, because when you started, as you say, when you were very young, as you know, as I say, my mum, of course, has a good connection with you. And she was saying that your dad was a lovely man who was really supportive, you know, and he was a real good help to get you going, you know, because I think he gave you the power, if you like, to keep going. You know, because I think dads are like that with daughters. You know,
Well, you were definitely, you know, I was daddy's girl.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so lovely that you know, I've got a connection
Yeah.
to my father through you. I think that's really.
Oh, she just said he was a lovely man. You know, she said he was that. You know, you could tell that you were working together, and she thought that was a lovely. You know, because obviously she was sort of doing it as well, and on her own doing it. She had her mum going with her, and so it was like, it's funny. That's what I say about Northern women. They stick together. They're, you know, quite powerful, and they just go through things, and then hopefully something goes along. I have to tell you as well. But I have to ask you. You mentioned Rocket Man.
Oh, yeah.
The movie. What was it like seeing that played out as, you know, because obviously you're in it, but you're not in it, but you're in it, but it's chunks of your life. So what was that like?
Well, I went to see it not straight away because I was away on holiday when it came out, and I didn't know what to expect really. But to me, it's going to be a fantastic stage musical.
Glad you said that. Yeah.
Because it was written by the guy who wrote Billy Elliot,
Yes.
I believe. And it's got that quality about it because people are sitting in a restaurant and suddenly they start singing, you know. So I thought this is going to definitely be on the stage, you know, at some point. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Lots of people weren't in it, like Elton's early producers, like Gus Dudgeon and his band, you know, that were there, and certain people that, because I was there, I know, you know, had a big part in his life.
Yeah.
But I suppose it was more about Elton as a human being in some ways. About
It's
his
really
development.
revealing, isn't it? I think it's, you know, it's brave to do that because you are laying it wide open, and I'm not sure I'd want to put all that in.
Well, there's a few people in the film that don't come across, you know, unfortunately, they don't come across too well, and so that's quite tough.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was quite chuffed to be, you know, to have myself played on the screen by a gorgeous young actress. It was very nice.
You as to say, you've done so much, Kiki, and what I like about you is you never know which path you're going to go down.
I know, it's crazy.
It's
I'm like,
lovely
I never
though.
know.
No, but it's lovely. I remember as I came to London, and one of the first things I saw when I could afford to buy a theatre ticket was you at the Piccadilly Theatre in Pump Boys and Dinettes, and I loved
you
the
saw that.
poster.
Wow.
I loved it, and the visual, the poster was very grabbing. I thought, you know.
Yeah. Do you know
really the
that was
visual.
that photo was taken by David Bailey.
Wow.
Yeah.
You see, again, it's weird, isn't it? You know, did you sort of think, wow, this is David Bailey, I better look good today?
The thing, what's coming to my mind when we're talking is that the 80s was when I did that show, and also I did Blood Brothers for nearly on and off for 4 years.
Saw you in that.
And it was a really grounding decade, if you like. I'd been trying to be a pop star you know, for 15 years. And I've gone through all that hit records and that, you know, trying to keep it going and keep it going, you know. And I loved working with other people. I loved being a cast member. And
less pressure in a way. Because
Yeah.
you're not on your own and you're all working. This is what I like about musical theatre. There's always egos, but when the curtain goes up, you have to gel because it's the audience that matter at that point,
Yeah.
you know.
And you're only as good as the last performance.
Yeah.
You know. And so it was very grounding for me to do that. And I lived in London, so I could sleep in my own bed, go to work every day, you know, 8 shows a week, you know.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that period, you know.
Would there be a musical that you'd still like to do now?
I'm not really that into musicals, actually. I mean, I liked Blood Brothers because it was quite earthy.
And a good gritty story. Isn't it?
Yeah, and the music was quite folky in a way, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm quite happy doing my music again, you know, which
Yeah.
I've done. The last period has been with a guitarist producer called Carmelo Lugeri. I've been working with him for over 2 decades. I think you saw us play at the
Yeah.
theatre near Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going to Australia.
What I liked about that show, I must talk about that with you. I just thought you were great with the audience.
Oh, thank
You
you.
know, the little chat and everything. It was like, I forgot, I know it sounds awful, but I forgot I was seeing a show. It was like having a coffee with you and you were then just singing me great songs. And I thought, this is really nice, you know what I mean?
Oh, good. I'm
And
glad you enjoyed it.
It was really, because you were sort of telling stories that you think, gosh, you know, as only Northern as can be, you were quite open, you know. And I was thinking, oh, that's interesting. Can I ask you, when you got that colossal, mammoth song, Don't Go Breaking My Heart, the first time you heard that, did you go as a singer, this is definitely
No.
You see, it's interesting, isn't it? Because even after all your experience, you're like, not sure. Yeah.
Because you know, what I find interesting is that some things you do in life, you know, what in any field actually, you don't have any. You have commitment, but you don't have attachment. And I thought, yeah, I'll do what you want. You know, it was going to be just Elton, and I was going to do a few hearts in the background. And it turned into this duet. And I thought, oh yeah, we'll go in and do a little video, which took 10 minutes to make, you know.
Which is iconic now.
I mean, who would have thought that it would go to #1 worldwide and then that video would be still played, you know, me jigging about in my dungarees, you know. I mean, so in a way, it teaches you that to be committed without being attached is quite a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, because you can try too hard, you know. And it's often the things you don't, when you're not trying, that are the big successes, so.
But you have been lucky as a singer, because you've had like songs that what I call are just radio friendly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That people still they're timeless. Like Amarusi's timeless.
Yeah.
It could be recorded now and it still will be.
I've
a
been
hit.
lucky in that way.
Yeah.
That the records I've made have stood the test of time and they still get played, which keeps my name out there, which keeps me working really.
Yeah.
Which is. I don't know when I'm going to stop. I'll know when it's time. You know.
One of my favourite periods of yours was the album Perfect Timing and then Star and everything.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
loved
it
all of
is.
that because it was like a real. It's like you'd found the period to have fun. You know, the videos you looked like a pop star. You'd suddenly develop glitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it was like, wow, I think I can enjoy that. With Star, again, I'm very much a lyric person, and I love the story of the song.
Yeah, it's
So
very
if you're in-
clever.
if you're in show business, you kind of understand that lyric, don't you? Know the whole concept of it. Again, did you know when you were recording it, did you think this is a hit, or were you just it might do well?
I thought it might do well, that one actually, because
Yeah.
it was the producer was called Pip Williams, and we'd worked together when I was very young. He was a guitarist. I've been, he'd been one of my backing bands. So.
Yeah.
And he went on to work a lot with Status Quo and a lot of bands. You know, he's very good production-wise.
Yeah.
It's funnily enough, I don't do that song in my acoustic show because it's a very tricky song to do. In the kind of music I'm doing now, you know.
Yeah.
I do Amorous, I do a slowed down version of Don't Go Breaking My Heart.
Yeah.
So it's kind of different now. As you say, the many faces of me.
Yeah. No, but I think that's why you've lasted. I genuinely.
Do you
never-
really?
think
I sometimes think, oh my God, who am I? And do people get confused, you know?
No, but I think it's the element of surprise, because that's the thing. You know, you have to reinvent. And I think that people that come from your generation, I don't mean that rudely, but that era, they have lasted because you connect and the songs are timeless. So when you think about like Dusty's songs, as you rightly say, you hear them today and all you hear is great production, wonderful vocal. And what I like about her songs is there's a story. And you think,
she did some really good singles, didn't she?
Yeah, yeah.
And the Memphis album, Dusty in Memphis, is a brilliant album.
That's what I mean. It could be released today.
Yeah,
it's not aged in any form.
No.
So it's an interesting
classic.
fact. Well, is there any song that you wish you had recorded that you were offered and it slipped and you thought, I'm not sure? Then you hear it and think, damn. You know?
No, unfortunately, no. I'm trying to think of a song that I would have liked to have recorded though. Gosh, there's so many that I could have done.
Yeah.
I mean, we do covers. We do a version of "Running Up That Hill" by Kate Bush.
So
we
did at the
experiment
theatre.
quite a lot. Yeah. And but classic songs. Do you know? I really can't. There's so many songs in my head.
Yeah. Well, who do you admire as you're a professional, successful singer? Who do you flick on and you know, maybe turn the radio up when they come on and think, oh, I like their voice, you know? Because I always love it when you talk to someone who's had success and they say, oh, I like that person. It's never the one you think they're going to like.
It's often different, yeah.
Yeah. Who do you enjoy listening to?
Well, at the moment, I love my Stevie Wonder and my Marvin Gaye voices, you know, from the way back. But an artist I really respect is Robert Plant, because he moves on all the time. And this year, earlier, I met him last year. He came to see a show I did. And he's so forward thinking. And he rang up and he said, Kiki, I thought that he wanted me to support him. He was trying out some songs with a new band he's put together. He only had 45 minutes worth of material. But what he wanted to do was support me. And I looked at the phone and I thought,
this is
am
Robert Plant. Yeah.
Am I dreaming this? Or is Robert Plant saying, you know, can I do a support for you? And so we did this anonymous show near Birmingham in this little civic hall. We did a double bill, Carmelo and I, my music partner, Carmelo Leggeri, and Robert Plant and his band Saving Grace. And we did this double bill. And it was just such a thrill to work with someone that I really respect.
I was going to say, I bet you couldn't believe it though, could you? Because again, it's like one of those moments where you go,
couldn't believe it.
Why is he ringing me?
He's such a great singer and such a great mind, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of his. Yeah, I like a lot of different things actually. Yeah.
Is there people today though that you think, you know, when you see people and you think, yeah, they've got it. You know, when you're watching TV and you watch somebody and you think they're very good. You know, like. For me, a bit of a cliche, but I like Jane McDonald, for instance. I think she's the whole package of good entertainer. She can sing, and she's got a warmth that comes over on TV.
Yeah,
she's
she's a one-off sort of person, isn't she?
Yeah. You don't see many of them though. That's the
well,
thing.
is she more? Would you say she's more showbiz?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm in that field anymore. Kind of. You know, I'm more of a singer. You know, songwriter. But I mean. What I'm thinking as we're talking is that there are a lot of great voices out there, and there's opportunity now for people to record, isn't there?
Yeah.
In their own studios and that. But I think there's not a lot of singers that have that unique quality. No. There's some great voices, but they just sound a bit generic.
Yes.
I mean, but there are many artists that out there that are very good. But there's so much competition now, you know.
I was going to say, I'd put you in that bracket of, you know, this is what I'm saying about when you turn on the radio. I know that it's Sandy, Dusty, Cilla, you. I know voices, and you know, not because of the song, but you think, oh, I know that voice, and that's I think a uniqueness that makes success.
You have to have a certain quality. I mean, it depends what field you want to be in, you know. But for the kind of artists I like, just do what they do.
Yeah.
You know, the Joni Mitchells and the Kate Bushes. I mean, they just have a uniqueness and they do what they do. And you know.
I think you should put your version of Running Up That Hill out. Actually, I thought it was amazing. You threw me in the show by doing it. I'm a huge Kate Bush fan, and I thought, wow, this is a really different version, but clever.
It's different. It's very different.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
Kiki, we're going to have to leave it because to take you somewhere else.
Oh.
It's been lovely to chat. Thank you so much.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you.